Guinness cycling records that no one can beat. Legendary performances that in the current day not even Tadej Pogačar himself would be close to conquering. Unique facts that most likely will make your head explode. But even knowing this, maybe you still want to hear them? Well, without further ado, let the show begin. Miguel Indurain. This Spanish cyclist is undoubtedly one of the best time trialists of all time, who knew how to take advantage of the routes that were favourable to his characteristics and to mark a dynasty during 5 years in which he conquered, amongst other great achievements, 5 consecutive Tour de France and 2 Giro d'Italia. However, his greatest record is that of being the heaviest cyclist to win a Grand Tour, with an impressive record of 79 kilos when he won the 1992 Tour de France. It is even rumoured that the Banesto rider decided to drop to 73 kilos in the 1994 Giro in order to be able to climb the super hard Mortirolo with the best. And that in the end, this was his great disadvantage in that great loop around the Italian boot. In any case, there can be no arguing that it was impressive to see how this real mastodon was able to climb the hardest mountain passes with the best climbers, despite being 20 kilos heavier. Eddy Merckx. Logically, the cannibal is the creator of many records in the history of cycling. However, for experts, he is the best rider of all time, able to win from massive sprints to the most demanding time trials and the most complicated climbs of the Tour de France. Today we will talk about a more curious record, the most monuments conquered in a single season. Winning any of Milan-San Remo, Paris-Roubaix, the Tour of Flanders, the Giro de Lombardia or Liège-Bastogne-Liège is already really complex, as they are one-day competitions and anything can happen. But imagine what it means to win 3 in a single year. Well, Eddy did it on 4 different occasions, a record that so far only Tadej Pogačar and Fabian Cancellara have come close to in recent times. In 1975 he actually came close to winning 4 monuments, after winning San Remo, Liège and Flanders wearing the World Champions jersey. But the Molteni rider had to settle for second place after losing the sprint to Roger de Vlaeminck in Roubaix. Pretty damn impressive, in fairness. Eric Baron. This 64-year-old French cyclist is one of the Guinness record holders in cycling out of competition. However, it's one of the most spectacular that you will see in today's video. And it's that this young athlete has been able to beat in the last 30 years on several occasions the downhill speed record on a bicycle. For years he trained with top Hollywood actors like Sylvester Stallone and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and they gave him enough strength to make him a real superhero of the descent of the summits, such as Mount Fuji, the Nevado de Toluca or the Stromboli volcano, amongst others. His speed record stands at an incredible 227.72 km per hour. That was in a descent on the snow of the ski resort of Var in France. Without a doubt, this Red Baron is a true bicycle legend. My new hero, if I may say so. Michele Ferrari. The popular doctor is undoubtedly the real record holder in terms of victories achieved with a slew of different cyclists. Far above true titans of sports medicine such as Efe Moyano Fuentes or Mark Schmidt. The first great victory of one of his pupils dates as far back as 1984, when in his debut year he managed to beat the hour record with his compatriot Francesco Moser, and on 2 different occasions, far surpassing the record of Eddy Merckx and totally doped, as Ferrari himself confessed years later. Among other great successes of the Italian trainer, there is the epic doped 1994 season of the Giwis Balan team, and of course the 7 Tours de France conquered by his fetish and exclusive client Lance Armstrong. Although many think that he has since retired, quite the contrary. In 2017 he was sentenced to 3 years in prison for doping the biathlon athlete Daniel Taschler, and it's believed that he also doped famous pedalists such as Michele Scarponi, Denny Menchov and Jakob Fuglsang. A legend of the sport who continues to break it down almost 40 years after his first great hit. Marianne Vos. Undoubtedly the best female cyclist of the 21st century, and consequently one of the women with the best records in all types of competitions. Being Olympic champion in road and track, and winning from one-day races to grand tours and stages. However, her practically unbeatable record is in the Cyclocross World Championships, where she has won up to 8 times. From her first title in 2006 to the last to date in 2022, an absolutely incredible record, where her 6 consecutive victories between 2009 and 2014 stand out. And which could have been many more if she had dedicated herself with a bit more zeal to this discipline, in which for years she did not want to participate in due to various commitments. At 34 years of age, the Dutch woman wants to be the first to win the new Women's Tour de France. Will she be able to do it? Fausto Coppi. Without any hesitation, the Italian was one of the best climbers of all time. With an impressive list of achievements, including 5 Giro d'Italia, 2 Tour de France, 1 Road Cycling World Championships, and 9 cycling monuments, and whose records could have been much higher if he had not been caught by the Second World War in the best years of his career. However, his first triumph is the one that makes him most worthy of being on this list, since at only 20 years of age, he won no less than the 1940 Giro d'Italia, despite being hired as a gregario of the legendary Gino Bartali. And he didn't do it just like that, as he managed to beat the 3rd place rider of that competition by almost 12 minutes. An unbeatable record in today's times, despite the fact that more and more precocious cyclists stand out in professionalism. Viola Brand. This 27-year-old German is one of the most outstanding athletes in a discipline that's not known by many. Her pirouettes and capers on the bike have made her one of the greatest exponents of this sport, becoming European champion and triple world runner-up. She trained for more than 20 hours a week to get the attention of all of us, and she did it being the cyclist with more views in one of her performances on YouTube than almost any other, with more than 57 million views. An epic record that will have given her enough money to buy a house. At least. Congratulations, German friend. You have achieved the dream of Generation Z with your effort and dedication. Seriously impressive.